Well, here we are once again. Good to be with you again today, Harold. And last program we talked a little bit about, I guess we left off, we were talking about the Smaller, the Seymour family, and how there wasn't a house between here and you don't know where it didn't have a frying pan or something made by the Seymour country, yeah, sure, company. So something I wanted to ask you, Harold, was people come home from overseas or whatever in the years. There was no TVs.
No.
And probably not everybody had a radio. In fact, north of here, not everybody had hydro.
Oh yeah.
So what did people do?
Well, incidentally, battery radios.
Okay.
When radios first came in, they were largely battery.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, that tells you how much I know that.
Yeah, and yeah. There was one big battery about this long, that went with an average size radio.
Right.
Yeah, and.
Well, speaking of radios,
so
we got to talk a little bit about Gordon Pigden.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to? You remember him well, I'm sure. I remember him, but you'd remember him a lot better than I do, and with his radio expertise.
Yeah. Well, Gord was a radio technician in the Air Force.
Okay.
He was an officer, and when he came home, he set up his shop. I guess I should have maybe done a little research on this, but anyway, in a word, he was a radio repairman and radio sales, and he made the first TV there was in Madoc.
That's what it was, the first TV.
The first TV.
Remember you?
Yes, he did. And he had a dog too, and he called the dog TV.
Is that right?
And anyhow, yes, he was right near the Four Corners, just coming down from the Four Corners,
okay,
where his shop was.
Yeah.
And Clarence Farrell was an electrician, and Clarence occupied a bit of space in the back because, you know, believe it or not, space was kind of hard to find.
Sure.
You know, people did try to do little businesses, you know, get little businesses going, you know, and so on. So the spaces were really occupied.
Yeah.
There wasn't any vacancies.
Who would have known back then that would be the start, would one day become Hastings Cablevision? That would be the beginning right there of what would come on.
Yeah, that's right, Hastings.
So the people get together around, I'm talking about hockey night in Canada, because I do remember that before we had a TV.
Yeah.
And people would get around and listen to the hockey match on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That'd be back in the days when the Leafs won.
Yeah. Gord would have a television or two set up in the front window, you know, and passers-by or those who wish to stand in the cold, they'd see the hockey game.
Okay.
And no doubt there was a crowd inside.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And yes, they certainly made. Gord certainly brought television to life in Madoc, and of course this was in the days when the mast antenna was up on the roof and you look around. Everybody had one. Oh, so-and-so doesn't have a mast. They don't have television. But
back in the days of rabbit ears.
Well, perhaps, yeah. But radio has maintained, we thought, television, radio is going to be out of the picture.
Right.
But no way, no, radio is still very strong.
Briefly, the last time we got together, we talked about the street dances and the music, and there's so much that we can be proud of.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go back to 1965. We still got a lot of good stuff going on today, but it had to start somewhere.
Yes.
And I'm sure it just didn't all start in 1946 either, it was started before that. But a lot of the things in a lot of places, they can use that year 1946 as like a rebirth, because so much happened from there on that was different previous to that.
Yes, that's right. Those days have gone, and you know, like young people today, I think are missing an awful lot of an awful lot of things like that
Sure, I agree with you.
that we
Yeah,
enjoyed, you
yeah.
know, and so on.
Well, Harold, this has been good. I wish we could sit here for hours, but
Yeah, this is very comfortable.
this is very comfortable. But I think we better wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
So anyway, Harold, until next time, thank you very much.
Well,
And maybe sometime again we can slip down memory lane one more time.
Well.